Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to yet another session on Hinduism Q&A. This is Nishit Kochak, your host for today, and I'm here with Jay Lakhani. Together, we answer the questions that you, the viewers, may be having on any topic on Hinduism. Now, just to let you know, if you're a new viewer to the channel, we broadcast live every Saturday at 2 o'clock UK time. The session runs for about 45 minutes, and the way we start is we start with a set of questions from the previous sessions, and then as we go along the Q&A session for today, I will be watching live online and I will be taking your questions, so you can leave your questions in the comments area. Now, it does really help us to understand where our audience is viewing us from. So if you're watching the video live or the replay, please do let us know in the comments area where you're watching us from. And if you enjoy the broadcast, remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, etc. Now, we've got two channels. We've got youtube.com/Hindu Academy, and we've got facebook.com/Jay Lakhani or Hindu Academy as well. And you can catch the broadcast live or replays over there. So, Jay bhai, welcome to today's broadcast.
Thank you, Nishit bhai.
Brilliant. Now, I'm really looking forward to today's session. It's going to be a really interesting one. And we'll kick off with a topic that's really a hot potato for this time of the year. And this is, what is the Hindu solution to global warming?
You see, Nishit bhai, somehow humanity feels that it doesn't require religious, spiritual aspiration or inspiration to resolve the human issues. For example, like global warming and the catastrophes that we see all around the world at the moment. They think there's no need for religions to get involved. It's a secular issue. The secular world will resolve it. Now, humanity has a habit of sailing too close to the wind, as they say in English. That means taking tremendous risk, and somehow it seems to get better. It gets over its difficult periods. So the challenges they face, they somehow seem to overcome them. And with the innovation of technology, so the people might say we'll reduce the greenhouse effects, we'll be using solar energy and so on. So this greenhouse effect issue will go away. This is the kind of hope that say a lot of these Western countries have. But we know that they are competing against each other, and they're not really bothered about the greater good. They're only interested in their own personal good. So this particular method they are using is a patchwork solution. It may work temporarily, but not in the long term. And Nishit, but let me tell you what will be the consequence. If this global warming continues, and okay, Britain says we reduce our greenhouse effect, and then still China is pumping a lot of greenhouse gases in the air because they are manufacturing stuff that the people in this country are consuming.
Yes, we are indirectly contributing.
We are contributing at the same time. So you say, oh, in that case, what's going to happen? Just let's take a scenario. Suppose the water level starts to rise, which is very likely now. Because the Arctic and Antarctica are kind of losing all the ice. So the water level will rise. What will happen? Rich countries like Netherlands will just build higher walls to protect themselves. They'll put 100 feet high walls so that their country doesn't get drowned. That's a rich country. If you like, the upper class of modern international world. The country who have got the position, the power, the military power as well as economic power to do what they like. And what will happen? Bangladesh, poor Bangladesh, will disappear underwater. Who cares? Let the people squirm. So the upper class will get away when global warming starts to happen in serious ways, and the people at the lower rungs, or the nations at the third world, will suffer heavily. So this is how it's going to unfold. It's a frightening scenario. So this kind of very secular resolution to the global warming position is purely a patchwork solution which will help the rich and the powerful nations, and in a way damage or hurt the poorer nations. This is the caste system, the international scale. The rich and the haves and the have-nots at the bottom. Now, what is the Hindu take, and how would Hinduism address the issue? The real issue is not really the fact that we are kind of the earth cannot sustain such a large population. The real issue is not that. The real issue really comes from the spiritual aspect that we kind of possess, which says the following. Friends, stop living a frenzied lifestyle, which is a throwaway culture, wasting kind of energy and resources purely for external showmanship. Stop this kind of frenzied lifestyle and adopt a more spiritual lifestyle. Slow down, like you keep telling me, slow down, Mr. Lakhani, when you're speaking. So I'm telling the greater public, slow down. Stop this kind of very frenzied lifestyle trying to consume more. In fact, look, You go to any supermarket on Sunday morning, they're full. Every trolley is filled to the brim. It simply says consume more. It's a consumer nation. So this idea of kind of promoting consumerism is in a way helping economic progress, at the same time creating greenhouse effects. So the spiritual dimension will simply say, calm down, lead a very simple life but high thinking and simple living. Then this kind of global issue will go away on a long-term basis. This earth can easily sustain 14 billion human beings instead of 7 billion, provided the way we lead our lives is more spiritually oriented rather than materially oriented. So the resolution in the long term lies with this idea of, in a way, embracing a spiritual aspect to our being rather than kind of fixated on material gain, position, get more money, eat more stuff, go on more holidays. And this is what is causing the real problem, and that is a long term solution. So this kind of short termism that we are going to adopt for the time being is just going to basically damage the poorer countries, and the rich countries will get away with it.
Amazing. I hear India is now moving towards banning single-use plastic as well. Single-use plastic, as you know, is one of the biggest contributors to pollution, and we have an entire patch in the sea called the garbage patch, which is almost the size of a small country. That amount of garbage, and because of all this pollution, we are already consuming microplastic waste in our system through so many different ways. So it's a really sad situation, but we can make a difference.
Well, you see, the only thing I can say, of course, we are very innovative. Human beings are very innovative. They'll use this challenge and turn it into opportunity to reduce greenhouse effect. That's perfectly fine. This is a patchwork solution that will only help the rich countries, while the poor countries will pay a price. So unless you subscribe to a more spiritual aspiration that I hope Narendra Modi and India will now promote on the world stage, we are in trouble.
Yes, indeed. So folks, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching us on YouTube, remember you can subscribe to our channel. We've got a bunch of videos there. They're all listed on a playlist. And if you hit the bell icon, you will be notified when we upload the new videos. We regularly upload new videos to YouTube, and they also go out on our WhatsApp broadcast groups. Perhaps, Jeva, you can share the WhatsApp group number, because a few people have been asking in the comments about the WhatsApp group number.
Let me be clear. You see, we are using social media to promote very wholesome ideas that come out of Hinduism. We are not here to promote any sectarian movement. We are not here for any monetary gain or getting name or fame. We are operating in a very humble manner, and the best way we could, in a way, promote these wonderful ideas on the world stage is using social media. We are so fortunate. This technology gives us the access. So, and the easiest way to get access is WhatsApp, not even Facebook or YouTube, but WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is free, provided you go near a Wi-Fi station. And the thing is, can multiply. So if we are sending out about 20,000 messages from London every day, short clips every day, 20 minimum goes from our office here. But then those clips go to these 20,000 people are very keen to, in a way, promote these clips to their groups. And some of them are promoting to 500 people, 1,000 people. So we know this WhatsApp clips keep multiplying, and provided the material is potent, sounds sensible, it will automatically continue to be, inspire a lot of people. So more people share and share. We are just guessing that about at least 1 million people are getting our WhatsApp clips on a daily basis, because we get emails and messages from all over the world saying, "Oh, we saw your WhatsApp," and blah blah. So it is getting around, and it is producing a major effect. I'm telling you, because when I go in the street, people say, "Oh, we know you," and they're chasing this shit by as well. So the WhatsApp clips are getting around big time, and we are quite sure of that. So if you wish to help us and promote this kind of simple, there's no other ulterior motive, promote broader vision of Hinduism, then kindly just subscribe to our WhatsApp. It's probably a broadcast group, because if you just open up a WhatsApp group, there'll be a lot of arguments and debates going on all the time and destroy the dignity. So we produce a broadcast only WhatsApp group. That means if you send us a WhatsApp message, we will immediately subscribe you, and you get a short 3-minute clip roughly per day, which we hope you will share with all your contacts, and then ask them to share it further. The WhatsApp number is quite straightforward. It is plus 44 for UK, plus 44 77 17 88 4792. I'll repeat, plus 44 77 17 88 4792. Just send a WhatsApp message, immediately be enrolled, and every day you get one short clip. Please share. Help us in the process that we have started here.
Thank you, Jeva. So one of the viewers had put in the comments area that why do I call out names of people who are viewing the broadcast? it takes up, as it is, we have only 45 minutes, and then I take up a little bit of time acknowledging and recognizing the people who are coming on board. This is because we value and appreciate our regular subscribers, even the new people who come in, contributors who give us their time and their comments and contribute to the content of this, and it is important to recognize them and welcome them to the broadcast. So bear with me if I take a couple of minutes here and there and then recognize few of the people. So I'll start with Priya Ranjan watching us from Kuwait. We've got Tushar Patel watching us from London. We've got Anjaneyulu, I hope I pronounced that correct, Anjaneyulu from watching us from the US. We got our good friend Paula K, welcome back. We got Narayan Marg watching us from UK, and many other viewers. So the next question we've got is, how do we move from Sampradaya to a broader vision of Hinduism?
You see, I got a very touching email from a gentleman who said, Mr. Lakhani, we were all brought up in a Sampradaya. If you understand, this is how most of us have been brought up. Most of the Hindus kind of belong to a Sampradaya, a particular sectarian movement that the family has been subscribing to over perhaps many generations. Is there anything wrong with it? No, my friend. We all have to start a spiritual journey from somewhere. That is the place where you start your spiritual journey. I'm not here to undermine any Sampradaya. Hinduism is nothing but a family of Sampradayas. So we are not here to undermine or score points, but we simply think we recognize that our starting point is a Sampradaya. All of us, in fact, we would say, oh, my father loved, Shiva, so that's my Sampradaya, if you like. So we all had this kind of Sampradaya that we subscribe to. By the way, my mother loved Mother Goddess, and she wasn't bothered with Shiva. So we have this kind of Sampradaic background to our own learning process. Fair enough. It's a good starting point for in any field. You have to start at some point. So you can't start in blank. So Sampradayas are a good thing, and there's nothing wrong with the Sampradayas. We recognize that different groups kind of aspire to spirituality using different format. Some like Shiva, some like Vishnu, some like Mother Goddess, some like think of ultimate realism, essential nature, Atman, and so on. So different Sampradayas will promote different ways of progressing spiritually. Anything wrong? No, my friend. But the issue is this. Now we live in a world which is a global village. It's not only that you have to interact with people of other Sampradaya, you have to interact with people of other religions as well as, most important, people of no religion. So the world, and you see, initially you could live in isolation without any problem, follow your own Sampradaya and progress to your destination, perfectly fine. Now you can't do it anymore. Your youngsters have got these gizmos in their pocket, and they can do search, Google search, etc. regarding who is talking about what religion, or what Sampradaya. They can easily suss it out. So we are forced, if you like, to interact with people of other traditions, other religions, as well as different Sampradayas within our own tradition. Nothing wrong with it. The world is like that. It's getting kind of strongly gelling together. Nothing wrong with it. Now it is possible for us to use different ideas of different Sampradayas to enhance our own approach in Sampradaya. So you become broader in your own Sampradaya by, in a way, looking at different vision from other religions as well as different Sampradayas from your own tradition. So you have to remove these blinkers. Blinkers are useful. When a horse is running, the blinkers keep it in line. So Sampradayas are like blinkers. They keep you in line, follow that particular god, and that's it. Don't argue, don't look left or right. These are the blinkers. It's a useful ploy, but now the blinkers have been removed by the social media. You can't stop it. Your youngsters will discover people of other tradition or other Sampradayas who are talking something more sensible, perhaps. So you can't stop it. So what do you do? You tell your youngster, look, we belong to this Sampradaya, but our tradition is so broad, so vast. Please explore other aspects to our own tradition. And the best way to start the journey is this, to say, look, most of the Sampradayas focus on a particular godhead. So say, okay, we start the idea of personality-oriented Hinduism. It's a nice flavor. It's a very engaging flavor. It's a very touching, in a way, it's a very attractive way to relate to spirituality. And when I see on the TV some people applauding and singing the hymns to Shiva or Vishnu, I smile. I say, this is good. You see, these people are engaging themselves in spiritual, progress. Nothing wrong. But then the youngsters are not that bothered about it. So you have to tell them, look, our tradition is so broad and so vast. There are many different approaches we take on. And some approaches which are personality oriented will struggle when it comes with science and rationality. They will struggle. So try and expand your horizon and incorporate a non-impersonal aspect of Hinduism. Then you are safe, because there's a very broad vision saying underpinning to reality is not essentially any god, but if you like, this principle we call Brahman. And you say, oh, sounds very exotic, but that's the deeper idea of Hinduism. That's how Hinduism started. There's a deeper dimension to this reality, which is essentially non-material, non-intellectual, non-emotional, non-mental, and that particular dimension is called spiritual. That's a power underpinning to reality. This is a deeper vision of Hinduism. So even if you belong to a sampradaya, that's just one particular, if you like, strand of Hinduism. The deeper vision is very broad. When you, in a way, gently allow the youngster to explore this non-personalized approach to spirituality, then, see, when it comes to challenges from science and rationality, they are safe. Not only that, they can respond and they can reconcile the different sampradayas. This is the beauty of our tradition. It allows us to reconcile different paths, saying you'll end up with the same destination provided you follow your particular pathway to its destination. You'll come to the same destination, so don't get frightened. But this breadth of vision is essential if you want your youngsters to feel comfortable when they are dealing with people of other sampradaya or people of other religions or people of no religion. This is the breadth of vision. No other religion is this breadth of vision. I'm really saying, with pulling up my collars, yeah, we have it. Just allow them to be, explore this impersonal or non-personal approach in our tradition. They are safe.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So I'd like to welcome a few of our viewers on Facebook. We've got Neeraj Saxena, we've got Prakash, we've got Aman Chandra watching us from Australia, and we've got Seema Tyagi, Prakash, and we've got Raju Pogaita. Welcome to the broadcast today. So Jay, we've got a question from Aman Chandra. He's asking that where do we email if we've got deep philosophical questions to ask you?
Okay.
What's the right email address to reach you on?
Okay, I'll give you the email address. It's very simple. Just send an email to Hindu, Hindu, at Hindu Academy, all small letters and one word, Hindu Academy, HINDUACADEMY.org, O-R-G. So I'll repeat, in fact somebody else was asking about the WhatsApp number. I'll repeat the WhatsApp number and the email address. The WhatsApp number is plus, I'll slow down so you get your pen, plus 44 77 17 88 47 92. You can even send your questions by you on the WhatsApp. We'll respond. Second, the email address itself that you can use is very simple. Small letters Hindu, HINDU, at Hindu Academy, one word. Small letters HINDUACADEMY.org, O-R-G. Send an email or send a WhatsApp message to us. It will get to us, and we will, put it up here like this. So your questions will hopefully get answered. We hope.
Brilliant, folks. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of new questions coming in. We have had similar questions coming up over the past few weeks, so we want some new questions to tackle. So I'm relying on you all to send us your trickiest questions to Jaybai. So the next one we're going to go is over a topic that is quite popular on this session. It's usually to do with meditation. And we've got a couple of questions. I'm going to try and summarize them into one or little sections around one question, then you can answer it. So in meditation, how do you follow this path if your friends and family aren't supportive of it? That's one. Number two is that...
Can I answer that first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, look, in spiritual progress, you will find, it's not just in the process of meditation. When a person is sincere about spiritual exploration, sometimes the family can be helpful, sometimes the family members can be hindrance. This is reality. This is the world we live in. I'll tell you why. Most of the family members are very interested in very secular agenda. Make money, be clever, or, buy a big house and holidays and prepare for your children and enjoy life to the full here and now. And it's purely material agenda. So if an individual in a family talks about spiritual aspirations, saying I'm not too bothered, there's enough money for me to survive, I'm not bothered about making more money, etc. And the family members will feel worried. So this guy is not playing ball with our secular agenda. So they will get upset and they will try and in a way needle the poor chap to say, follow a secular model like we have been doing. Be a good boy, follow our example, make more money, prepare for get married and blah blah. So they will impose. So they try and put you into that position. The thing is this: look, if you are sincere and genuine, nobody can pressurize you. We live in a world where you cannot be put in a pressurized. So when that happens, you quietly don't fight and argue about it, because people who are kind of strongly embedded in a very secular worldview will not easily shift their particular view and approach and take on the spiritual model. Look, I would not exaggerate. Lots of cousins, none of them have any interest in spirituality. Their only interest in religion is when we do wedding ceremony, how much money should we spend? How elaborate should be the ceremony? They expand, they explore, and make it more colorful. It's just purely showmanship, but that's the only aspect of religion they are related to. The deeper vision they are not bothered to. Sometimes when these youngsters are married, I tell the parent, look, you didn't give them the real, true depth of Hindu teaching. Just this showmanship is not going to hold the marriage together. I'll give you some examples. I should mention a name, a very close relation, got their son married, and all this hoo-ha and lots of thousands of pounds spent. Literally within a week, the marriage cracked up. They're not given right, if you like, spiritual ideas to the youngsters. So for minor reasons, they'll just walk away from each other. There's no loyalty, there's no long-term thinking behind it, very self-centered approach. So will this marriage survive? So this is what our people do. They just focus on the superficial rather than the deeper vision. So some youngsters who are keen on spirituality will struggle, will suffer. But you have to stand your ground. That's the only thing I can say. Stand your ground. Don't be frightened. There's a nice, bhajan that somewhere, I heard. They say, for example, when you're making spiritual progress, suppose your father gets in your way, push him aside. The story of Prahlad. They say, when you're making spiritual progress, this is standard. In fact, my mentor did another example. He said, the wives that you have, I'm not trying to criticize any women, by the way. The women come in two flavors. These are Ramakrishna's words. There are Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. The Vidya Maya women will encourage their husband to be spiritual. They'll stand by and encourage. The Avidya Maya say, no, I want diamond earrings, put on a shawl and go to the mehfil. And the poor husband says, what to do with his wife? So we have this kind of variation in society and families. You have to play a role in a gentle manner, continue your spiritual practice in private without making a big fuss about it, and you will progress.
Well, time to say hello to Umesh, Bhargav Mehta, and my friend Tom Fox watching us on Facebook. We've got Dinesh Narayan watching us from Georgetown, Guyana, and many other viewers. So the next question is, during the war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, why did Krishna not step in to help?
This is a very important question. There are a lot of variation to this question. I'll just touch on some. Somebody said, why was Karna killed unfairly? Or why was Drona killed unfairly? Or why did Ram kill Bali in unfair manner? So what kind of gods are these? So what kind of religion is there? Why didn't Krishna step in earlier rather than waiting for Draupadi to be disrobed before doing something about it? Why didn't she step in much earlier? So sorry about this one-man show. So these kind of questions do arise all the time. So sorry about this one-man show, two-man show I should say. So these kind of questions do arise. And you see, the Hindus, I've been warning you, please take care. Your scriptures come into two particular categories, the Shruti scriptures and the Smriti scriptures. The Shruti scriptures are purely focusing on spiritual experiences of ancient rishis and modern rishis talking about spiritual experience. That's the scripture of authority. Everything else is secondary. Even the epics belong to the Smriti scripture. So even the epics, when you see this kind of contradiction, saying this doesn't seem right, why didn't Krishna step in earlier? Why did Ram kill poor Bali in an unfair manner? You say, well, how do I answer this question? And there are not 100. I'm just mentioning one or two, but there are hundreds of such anomalies in the way when you look at when you look at some of this colorful narrative, colorful storytelling, and you have to be very careful. And I keep warning you, please recognize your scriptures of lower authority as just that. So remember, there may be a lot of exaggerations in it. There may be a lot of things that have been taken out, and maybe Ram or Krishna were not so pristine as we think. You see, we should miss Lakhani, you can't say he's avatar. But you see, when they've taken a human form, they in a way kind of are under the control of this kind of material world. And in the story of Ram and Sita, when Sita is abducted, Ram was crying. You say, how can you cry? You are God. So when you take on a human form, you have certain failings, and sometimes the kathakars kind of polish it away. You're pristine pure, except one or two blips show up, and say, oh, why did this thing blip? Maybe there are many more blips. Please recognize the limitation of your scripture. You are saying, I'll give one very cutting example. I'll really make you shudder, but so be it, my friends. It's better that I make you shudder than some other person or one other religion who loves to shudder you anyway. One person said, Mr. Lakhani, because Ganesh had elephant head, that means in ancient times we used to do head transplants. Now you see, what a horrible interpretation of your tradition. So you may say, but then how did Ganesh have a elephant head? How do you explain it? His narration is, if you like, symbolic rather than literal. Please recognize it. It has got value as a symbolic gesture. For example, when I see Ganesh, I immediately go, oh, it's been an iconic thing regarding Hinduism. So we are, in a way, paying tribute to the iconic aspect of Hinduism, and Ganesh is one of them. I love Ganesh, of course. So it doesn't mean that I believe that somebody cut his head off and he was transplanted. So please be aware about your narratives, about your colorful narratives, and a lot of issues will arise, like why didn't Krishna do this, why didn't Ram do this? And when that arises, a devout person of Ram or Krishna will reply, he say, go and ask Ram, go and ask Krishna, leave me, I don't know. And the word they will use, very useful they think they do. People who believe in Ram and Krishna as supreme personality, to give any excuse, they'll simply say, it is called Leela. Play of God. This is how he's playing, mucking about, go and ask him, but that's the only answer I can give you. In the Abrahamic tradition, does the same. When you ask a person of Abrahamic tradition, why did God create all this suffering in human beings? He said, it's God's wish. We don't know what is God's will. We don't know, we can't really recognize what is his wish or what is his ambition for creating humanity and suffering. It is his wish. We have to play a ball. See, same thing, Leela in Hindu tradition. With people who want to believe in the idea of ultimate reality, can't making mistake. When they make mistake, is pure Leela. Rub it away.
I can think of a couple of examples. When Sita was kidnapped, Ram didn't know who and where she was. He had to wait for Jatayu to tell him. When Krishna was born, when Krishna didn't know who his real parents were, but yet we expect their avatar of Vishnu, and they should know everything, etc.
Surely. And why did Shiva kill his own son and chop his head off? This horrible poor. She can't do that to a little boy. So please recognize the limitation of your narratives. I'm not saying we are bad. They are a very useful way to engage with spirituality. We use it. We've been using it for thousands of years. Don't stop it. Otherwise you've got nothing. You'll be in a blank. All this philosophy won't help you. You need these engaging ideas of Ram and Krishna and Hanuman and Ganesh and all that. But recognize the limitation and don't treat it as literal truth. Then you are safe. Otherwise you're in real trouble, my friends.
Brilliant. So let's welcome Vidur Vaidya. We've got Rudra Pratap Singh watching us from Bengal. And we've got Pritam Singh Rawat, another regular viewer watching us from Noida, and many others. Now, folks, I see a common sort of a thread in the comments. A lot of people are asking you for your view on a particular topic. I will just reiterate, we do not support any particular one kind of religion. We do not comment on political issues, etc., right? But I'll just mention what it is that they're talking about, then we'll move on, and I'll tell you what it is. It's basically Article 370, the take of the Kashmir situation, and how the BBC is
portraying
it, right? So in a poor way.
Touch it. It's important. Yeah. Touch it. You see, the thing is this. I've said this in the past. No, I don't like to dabble into politics. That's not my field. And same was true of my mentor, Vivekananda. Even though India was under the control of Britain, he just kept talking about spirituality rather than going to the political field. He avoided deliberately because otherwise he loses focus. So I'm in the same mode. I don't want to lose my focus on spirituality. Let me just tell you one thing that I noticed. You see, one of the things that British Empire did was to divide and rule. That's a standard political ploy they used to control the whole world. So what they did is they got the habit of putting artificial line. Palestine, India, Pakistan, just a civil servant going with a ruler and drawing a line. Whenever you do this, it creates a hell forever, for a long period. Same with Palestine, and same with India and Pakistan, and this Kashmir issue. But I tell you how this particular ploy is backfired on the British Empire. Big time. It's backfired big time. You heard about Brexit and all the problems we face, and of course the BBC is trying to put a brave face on it and we sort it out. They're in real mess. Do you know why it's a mess? They drew a line in Northern Ireland. So when they show India, they show India occupied Kashmir. And some person sent me a very lovely message saying Northern Ireland, British occupied Ireland. See? Same thing. They drew a line. Now this line is creating hell for them now. This is why they can't get out of Brexit. The only thing is this line. If they say we remove the line, we'll have terrorists coming back into Ireland, on the Irish scene. So they can't allow that. So they have to take the line off. Once they try and take the line off, then they are safe. Otherwise, there's terrorism. And if they don't take the line off, Europe saying you can't get out of Europe without imposing this line. So you see, they've got themselves in trouble because they drew a line. So this line drawing thing has backfired. Sorry to say this, but I've been observing it. See, it bites you when you've been doing it to other parts of the world like Kashmir. You've done it to Ireland, and you are going to pay a price as well. So you're paying very clearly now. But the other issue I will not go into.
Brilliant. So getting back to our questions, which were on meditation, one was that as one progresses in the practice of meditation, what physical and mental sensations should we expect, and how can we progress further in this practice?
Okay, that's a beautiful question to explore. How do you know you're progressing? The first sign, I'm telling you again from experience, is that you feel more empowered. Suddenly you feel, you don't need Mr. Lakhani to give you accreditation. Oh, you're a good boy, good, you're doing well. You did this experience, good, tick. You don't need Mr. Lakhani, you don't need Vivekananda. You will know, you become empowered. As you progress in spiritual matters in meditation, you become more empowered. That's the first sign. If you become less powered, and suppose you sit in meditation, I don't know if you come out gloomy and miserable looking, that means you have failed. When you finish your meditation, you feel empowered. You look in your mirror and say, yep, got it. That empowerment is the first signal that you are succeeding in meditation. There are other things that will happen. This nice thing that Swami Vivekananda has mentioned. He said, if you put any stern lines on your face, they will disappear. Somehow they start to clear up. The third thing he said is, somehow a person who is successful in Raj Yoga will have a very sweet voice, never hoarse voice. So how can you? Swami Vivekananda said that when you are successful in meditation, your voice has a special thing, a ring to it, a very sweet ring to it, and this is a sign that you are spiritually awakened. Otherwise, a hoarse voice, this is not a sign that somebody has been awakened in spirituality. So again, very interesting signals. This I feel like some of the physical. Other mental things that will happen, in some case, not everybody, don't be frightened, but in some case happen naturally, organically. As you progress in spiritual, in your meditation, suddenly you'll find you are able to read somebody's mind. You say, oh, how did that happen? I have not learned the skill. Suddenly you develop you can hear things happening far away. You can see things. You say, wow. All these powers seem to emerge naturally, organically. The teachings of Veda, the teachings of the Yoga Sutra says avoid them. Don't get caught by them. They are distraction. They are a side effect. You don't take medicine to get your side effects. They are side effects, so simply cut them out. Don't get caught up by them, otherwise your progress will stop. But these things can happen. Few other things that happen is this. Certain things will attract you, certain things will not attract you. For example, if you go near a seaside, ocean, big lake, water, waves, it somehow will attract you. Because your mind is like a wavy, and you in a way reflecting this in the physical world, so you somehow will be attracted towards that, watching the waves. Or, things like, for example, I personally love thunderstorms. The lightning striking, I love it. When it's a thunderstorm in London, I open the windows and look up and say, it gives me thrill, because basically showing empowerment. The strength is coming out. So there are certain signals that you will get, and the important thing is you don't need to ask me. You will know. If you feel stronger about yourself, you seem to get a better grasp of yourself and reality. That's the best way to progress spiritually. If you are losing grasp of reality, becoming very kind of glum and morbid, run away. You're not succeeding. Give it up. Play football, as we can say.
The last question we've got on this topic is it important, or does the location of where you're meditating make an impact on your progress? Because we've got some of the people who are more advanced in this field, they're going to Himalayas, and all the rishis and so on used to be there. So certain places seem to have more effect than the others. How does it work?
I'll give you my personal opinion, and this is personal. I suspect in ancient times somehow the ancient sages thought they can go into isolation, into caves. Where do you find caves? Near the mountainside. That gives them that isolation they look quiet. There's no disturbance, it's very quiet, no noise, nobody disturbing them except for a few snakes passing by. And they love to sit in these kind of very isolated places just to keep away from the hustle and bustle of normal life. That is why they went. And I also suspect, I'm not sure, but I suspect that going to the Himalayas in a way, because you're almost frozen, somehow the freezing of the body, or the coldness of the body in a way allows the mind to come calm as well. I'm suspecting this is true, but I'm not suggesting that anybody would go and open the fridge door and sit near it to get into meditation. I'm just suggesting it. So this may be one of the reasons to go to the Himalayas. But the other thing is this. You see, when you see natural beauty, your mind is drawn to a higher aspiration. Natural beauty. Suppose you see squalor, dirt, your mind cannot be lifted to higher ideas, the spirituality and all that. So when you go towards, that's why some people chose Himalayas is a wonderful place to be inspired, because the beauty of the mountainside will in a way lift your mind to go to higher. Okay, I've said this is possible. At the same time, my mentor Sri Ramakrishna said something very interesting. He said, look, my friend, You think location is important? A genuine spiritual aspirant will wait for the family members to go to sleep. Those people interfering, don't meditate all that. He'll wait for them to go to sleep. He'll sit cross-legged on his bed in the middle of the night or at 2 o'clock in the morning. Who cares about time? And go into deep meditation, think deeper things. So just sitting cross-legged in your bed without going to the Himalayas, when everything is quiet in your house, that is equally good, my friend. Spiritually, not sitting in the Himalayas, it's sitting here within you.
Brilliant. So I'd like to say welcome to Vikas Bhardwaj watching us from Faridabad in India, Narayan Marag. Now Narayan is asking, how can somebody volunteer at Hindu Academy?
Yes.
Do you have any need for any volunteers?
In fact, I get people telling Miss Lakhani, you're doing such good job, you want to come and visit the Hindu Academy. There'll be huge, pillars and marble arches and stuff, and with the picture of Vivekananda, oh, come here. We have no such thing, my friend. We operate in a very humble way. In fact, I tell you, there was one sampradaya, I won't mention them by name, and I said, we'll teach your youngsters. I'll tell you, there's the Swaminarayan movement people. And I told them, they said, we want you to teach our youngsters Hinduism. They gave me 150 students to teach Hinduism. I said, no problem. But then they got a bit worried. They said, we don't know this Hindu Academy stuff. Maybe they'll steal our youngsters from our sampradaya. Let's visit them. They said, we want to visit Hindu Academy. And they thought there'll be marble pillars and pictures of Vivekananda, whatever. And they said, let's go and check, suss him out. So 2 of them came to visit the Hindu Academy. I opened my house door and I said, this is Hindu Academy. They started laughing. I said, we are not bothered about building places or buying huge buildings or starting an institute. We are just promoting broad vision in a very simple, humble manner, using very simple method. We don't have huge structures. We are not bothered about it. We don't have, look, another thing. They said, Mr. Lakhani, what is your role? I say, I'm the chairman. But I don't have a chair. That's my problem. so it is this kind of very light-hearted manner. So I'm the road sweeper as well as chairman, but there is no chair. That's my problem. So this is a very light-hearted manner in which we run Hindu Academy.
Brilliant. So our good friend Paula K is asking a question. What can I personally do to help people in need in everyday life?
You see, Paula, this is a very subjective issue. I cannot judge exactly where you are and what help you can give. Look, if anything springs up from your heart, you see somebody on the street or some group of people are struggling, and from your heart you feel, I must do something, you are on the right track. It's your heart that will guide you, not some Mr. Lakhani, do this. It's your heart that will guide you. Suppose you get it wrong, doesn't matter. You are playing, if you like, you are in a way linking with the human beings at a very deeper level, through the heart, not through the head. So if you intellectualize, how much should I give here, not here, whatever your heart feels is right, give it. And give it to the person you feel is deserving. You decide. Who am I to decide? And maybe the wrong people take some of your money, so be it, that's life. But when your heart tells you, I'll just tell you, for example, my daughter's got this very soft corner. Whenever she sees any advertisement about people struggling with water or children, immediately go on the computer, donate straight away. And she doesn't even ask my permission. I say, you are welcome to donate what you like to whoever you like when your heart tells you to do so. This is the approach we should take.
I think so. I really enjoy the concept of pay it forward.
Yes.
Do what you can.
That's all you can do.
Really nice question. Thank you for bringing that up. Now we got Priya Ranjan, who's got a very interesting question. So Hinduism has such a broad tradition, so much spiritual knowledge. What's your take on what mistakes the older generation has done, so that today it is in a position where it is lost a lot of its strength. The youngsters of today don't embrace it because they don't relate to it, etc. What do you think the older generation has done, or what could they have done better?
Okay, good question to explore. This is my, I don't normally criticize. This has been one of my criticisms about the Hindus themselves. First of all, the Hindus themselves, especially the older generation, I'm not trying to criticize them, but the older generation themselves somehow feel everything is fixed already. They've picked up all the rules and regulations, and the Shastras, they've told them, do this, don't do this, full stop. You see, we are a living tradition. They've forgotten that. This has caused us hell. We are a living tradition. And living tradition, the unique feature of all living traditions is evolves. It moves forward. It doesn't just get stuck in a rut. We are the only tradition saying with full flow, we are a living tradition, a living religion. And if you are a living religion, you must evolve, continue to evolve with the requirement of the times. And if you say, no, it's all fixed here in the book, is written here, you are finished. Other traditions are stuck like that. We are not stuck, fortunately, but we don't want to move, we want to hang on. In fact, I tell you, people say, Mr. Lakhani, how does Vivekananda compare to Vishwamitra? I said, my friend, the question should be turned other way around. How does Vishwamitra compare to Vivekananda? If Vivekananda does a better job of presenting spirituality suited to this age, then it's time to let go of Vishwamitra. Oh, we can't say that he was the teacher of Ram. Okay, that was 5,000 years ago. Evolve, my friends, evolve. You get modern prophets, more dynamic than you can ever imagine in your own age. So why do you know old is gold, go back? And this is what our older generation did. They were hanging on to the old and not prepared to move forward. And this is why the youngsters are moving away. I'll just give an example. Suppose you are brought up in a very tradition which is focusing on a personalized God, nothing wrong. Your parents are focusing, let them continue to focus. That's the way, don't interfere, don't upset them. At the same time, you can't relate to it anymore. When they take bhajan, I can't relate to it. Let them move to the more principle in Hinduism that comes with modern prophets like Ramana Maharshi, etc. Then the youngsters are safe. They say, this is my parents' way, but that's their way. Let them be set that way. That's their approach. But I'll take on a different approach, because your tradition allows you to have an evolved phase of Hinduism with modern prophets. Please, why don't you learn from them? No, must go back. When I see all these bhajans and kathas, I say to myself, when will this older generation learn that this is not going to attract the youth of today? There is no way the youth of today are going to be bothered about bhajans and kathas. I'm guaranteeing you. You say, no, but my son comes only when you pressurize him, and he'll come for half an hour, run away. He doesn't relate to it whatsoever. All these wonderful kathas the kathakas do. And the kathakas should have the courage to say to the youngsters, look, this is the starting point of your tradition, a colorful narrative, suitable for your parents. They can't do any better, so they're going to stick to that. But you move on, my boys, you move on. They won't say it. They won't say this is narrative, the philosophy is somewhere else. They won't say it also, why don't you? They want you to sit at their feet and massage their feet all their life and look after them and pay them, give them first class tickets and all that. They aren't going to let go of that, so they will not promote a modern vision. It doesn't require all this money business.
I truly agree. So, because my son is 15 and a half now, he will not relate to Hinduism in the traditional sense. But we do make sure that he understands the principles of Hinduism. He understands the main scriptures that we've got, and the main idea we've got. Well, the goal for me is to make sure he's got a good moral compass for himself and he's set for life.
That's good.
Then he can make his own way, what's right, what's wrong.
So we just plant the ideas and let them continue to unfold and in a way kind of grow as they progress in life. Look, I'm not exaggerating. I must have taught maybe 20,000 Hindu youngsters Hinduism in the UK. Directly or indirectly, thousands have gone through the system. I just plant the seeds. I don't say, okay, now you're rubber stamp, you're Vivekananda Center, Hindu Academy. I don't put any rubber stamp. Just plant the ideas in the system and let them go. And you'll be surprised, after 10, 15 years, some of them come back to Mr. Lakhani, you told me that. I can't forget it. So the seeds have now started to germinate in their own system. And that's how it should be, organic, natural, not the imposition, follow this focus and put on my badge. We don't do that. You give good ideas, plant it in the system, and let them, kind of fertilize, or let them be just allow them to be fertilized in their own way and germinate and progress from where they are, not where you are, my friend.
I think that's the important thing. Let them progress at their rate. So Ninad Kunte was asking, how can I volunteer in Hindu Academy when they're in Pune? So what I'd say is just drop us an email. The email is hindu@hinduacademy.org, and then we'll sort out any specifics if there's any way we can work together, right?
Can I just say, this is very interesting. A lot of people ask me this, how can we help? How can we participate? As we say, we don't want your money. We don't want your devotion saying we belong to you. We don't want any rubber stamp. We don't want acknowledgement even. If the ideas we are promoting are very important, please help us in the following way. We are fortunate to have the social media. When we present these ideas in a very honest, sincere, and in a very, very kind of humble manner, allow these ideas to flow. Let them go to all your contacts and ask the contacts to send to their contacts. It will multiply. That is the best way to progress. If you want to help us by promoting our WhatsApp clips. That's the easiest and the fastest way.
Right. So next question is from Priya Ranjan again. She's asking, do you plan to publish an FAQ, a frequently asked questions section, on a forum which viewers can access easily?
Yes.
That's a really good question. We are working on it. Like Jay Bhai said, we are restricted, constrained by our resources.
Can I just say one thing?
Yep.
See, about 20 years ago, we published 2 books. They became very popular in the education system in the United Kingdom. I'm hoping India will adopt those books for using it in the education system in Indian schools. They're called, I'm not promoting those particular books. We had 2 wonderful publications. Indian government can take it away, take the copyright and publish it in their own way for the Indian schools in India. We wish them well. That's the books. But we don't live in the world of books anymore. This is a frightening scenario. So we had a few reprints, and then suddenly the demand disappeared because everybody's using the social media and Google to learn about everything. So what we have done is this, and this is going to come big time. We have got at the moment about 100 clips systematically produced, and number 1, number 2 going the word Hindu, the historicity, the background to it, etc. We've got these 100 clips already with wonderful, colorful images. Already in the process. We've got about 40 already done. We're just waiting to launch these 100 clips on YouTube, on WhatsApp. So these 100 clips, they come with very wonderful, colorful images, etc. to enter society. And these 100 clips should be saved on your mobile phone or your computer and then shared with your youngsters. I guarantee you, if they see these 100 clips of 2 minutes each, they will have all the answers they are looking for in Hinduism. They'll be inspired. And they'll be engaged with Hindus, guaranteed, because these clips were recorded at Eton College, this kind of very posh college in London. So we did a good job, and we are now converting it into 3-minute clips, 100 clips, which will hold the hands of your youngsters. We are about to launch them, and before we launch them, we'll mention it on YouTube and Facebook, etc.
Brilliant. So folks, we are almost at 47 minutes into the broadcast. We have plenty of questions still left over. Well, I'm going to throw Jay Bhai one question from my side, which is a googly, and the question is just this. What do you think is the most worthwhile place to find meaning in life? Is it work, family, hobby, religion, philosophy, helping others, all the little small miracles, or something else entirely?
Everything. That's an easy answer. That's it. Googlies are always very interesting. You see, all of us, in a way, this is in fact very important thing to explore. I'll just, as you bring in Google, I'll normally answer with a kind of interesting kind of hit back. You see, as you notice the world, at the moment, the world is becoming polarized in a dangerous manner. Really polarized. On one side, you've got highly materialistic agenda with all these bully boys controlling the resources of the world, saying don't do this or you steal your resources, etc. Dictating to the world, very highly materialistic agenda which can create war, create real bloodshed in the world. This is one particular agenda. Just eat, drink and be merry. We are material beings, just grab as much as you can. You can see this from the world powers now. UK has become more civilized, but there are other world powers very keen to continue this process. So we see this on the world stage, highly materialistic agenda. Control others, try and take on more other land, even infringe on India, take the land of India. They're always there. So this is a strongly materialistic agenda that we see being polarized. And a lot of people say, that's life, this is the only life we have, just have, eat, drink and be merry. Who cares about what happens to our grandchildren? This is one approach, very dangerous, very kind of frightening scenario. This is one polarization. The other polarization is this. People who say, look, we're missing something, we need a spiritual angle, then end up by subscribing to a very kind of blinkered, cultish religion, and this again being polarized big time, huge population of this kind of very cultish movement, which is going to say now you follow this is one book, one religion, one way, and you got a first class ticket to heaven. That's the way you resolve your human condition. This is the two polarization. This is the only life we have. Lead it as you like, don't care. One approach. The other one is yes, we have got a solution, one way, and just follow this and follow the prescription we give you, and that's it. You can't think for yourself. And both these prescriptions are dangerous for the world we live in. The answer lies in the question you said, in the middle ground. Every little thing you do, you are trying to resolve your human condition. Come to terms with what you desire. Why do the desires arise? What is going on? And these are big questions, but they become revealed in your little things you do in life. What you aspire for, how you plan for tomorrow, how you plan for your children. All these things in a way reflect this deeper idea that we are trying to resolve your human condition. That's called dharma. That's the meaning of word dharma. So in the mundane thing that you do, in the daily routine things you do, there's nothing ordinary at all in life. Every aspect you mention is in a way, again, can lead you to spirituality. Even mundane things that you think are not important, they can lead you to spirituality if you can see the depth and kind of arrange. Even minor things you do it in a very focused manner. Buddha would love me talking things like that. This is called mindful way of living your life. So this is the answer. It comes from Buddhism more than Hinduism. Lead a very mindful life about every small thing you do, and that will lead you to spirituality.
Amazing. So folks, remember, September is self-awareness month. Look after yourself first before you try and go and help other people. That's the best way. It's like the analogy is like the person in the airplane will tell you, when the oxygen mask drops, put yours on first before you go and help somebody else. So look after yourself, mental health, mindfulness, etc. And in light of this, I'm going to read out one quote to close the session for today. And I like reading out Swami Vivekananda's quotes. And this quote goes like this: always try to represent yourself as happy, because initially it becomes your look, gradually it becomes your habit, and finally it becomes your personality. Jeba, any final words?
What a wonderful thing. What a wonderful thing way to finish. I can't add anything to that. Thank you, sir.
Brilliant. Folks, you've been a very, very good audience today. Please remember, if you liked the clips, I'm going to ask one more time how you can volunteer is by sharing them and subscribing to the channels. Let everybody else you know who can enjoy the broadcast know all about it.
Can I give a quick answer to this part? Which is the book that you relate to? If you want to understand Vivekananda, I'm telling you my story. Read the story of Sri Ramakrishna, the Gospel of Ramakrishna. It is easygoing, free-flowing, the depth of Hindu tradition, ancient and modern, comprehensive. You will not find anywhere else. This is what inspired me. So, Gospel of Ramakrishna by M is the most exciting thing that I came across in my life. That's what I can say. It's my personal opinion, by the way.
Brilliant. So have a great week ahead, and we will catch up with you again next week on Saturday at 2 o'clock UK time. Bye-bye for now.